They say talk is cheap. Come and have a seat. Join the conversation. This is what you need. Real convo, authentic and honest. Communicating in marriage, yeah, we gotta talk about it. Yeah, never hold back. Lay it all out on the table. Building up stronger relations. It's time for a transformation. This is real talk, something you can feel talk. Come and grab a seat. Yeah, it's time to have some Bell talk. Woo, Bell talk.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nadia Bell.
And I'm Stephen, and welcome to
Bell Talk. So tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about coming together. We're going to be talking about how Stephen and I came together. We want some of you married couples or anyone in relationships to think about how you came together. Most times, the reason why you came together will be the thing that will keep you together.
That's right.
Also going to be talking about singles, some things you should be doing while waiting to come together, some things personally for yourself. We also will talk about some conversations that you should be having. If you're dating, some conversations you should be having after, I say dating, after like maybe a year or two. Whenever you feel yourself like really getting close to your mate, some conversations that you probably should be having, some conversations that Steve and I did not have, some conversations we did have, some conversations we didn't have. So these conversations are very detrimental if you're thinking about being committed to anyone. So I'm going to start off how Steve and I got together. Steve and I, we met in ministry. We pretty much came together due to some, Stephen were going through some things at the time. I was going through some things at the time, and we had a lot of commonalities. So, we pretty much started a friendship. He was talking about things he was going through. I was talking to him about some things that I was going through, and we just, we kept that relationship for a while. So through that relationship, we built a lot of trust with each other, which is very important. So our relationship started off with trust that we built with each other. I say we dated after becoming friends for a while. Steve and I dated for like 6 months. We dated for like a good 6 months. We had gotten close with each other. We got very close, and due to a situation that I was in at the time, I had to leave. So Stephen was in Virginia. I had to leave. I went back home to Georgia, and pretty much we were separated. We kept in contact once I left, but we were, separated from each other. I had done, man, like, Dad, I got close to this joker, now I gotta go. So, due to circumstances, I had to leave. But, we kept that friendship. We kept, close with each other. We talked every night. We prayed on the phone. Sometimes, we worship together. We just continue to keep that bond. So, pretty much.
So, I'm going to give you a little more information. So, yes, we came together based off of trust. And that was the foundation of us coming together. So, anything I was going through, anything was on my mind, on my heart, my desires, I can trust her with it. And that drew me closer to her. And vice versa. Anything she was dealing with, anything that was on her heart, her mind that she wanted to share with me, she would call me. We were during those times we would write letters. And nowadays people don't write letters, they text and email and all that stuff. But she wrote letters. I wrote letters back to her. It was I guess you say a blessing, so to speak. So us coming together based off of trust is what brought us together even more, and we was able to build off of that. Now things begin to change, I guess, when we didn't disclose what our expectations were, which is a new topic that I think my wife's going to discuss about expectations. So with us, we were so focused on what we were doing we
were dealing with at that time.
Yeah, what we were dealing with at that time, what she was bringing to the table to help me with the pain I was going through, and vice versa. We didn't really pay attention to what our expectations were moving forward. So that didn't come till later on. After she went back to Georgia for 3 months, I grinded it out. I got myself it was at the time I was homeless, had somebody to take me in. I didn't have a car, so within 30 days I bought me like I said, A and B car, a beater,
8.5 car.
8.5. So it was a Plymouth Breeze or something like that. Had all type of mechanical issues. I was able to find me a fully furnished apartment. Didn't have no clothes, but it was a fully furnished apartment, and I set out to marry her. Now, prior to me doing that, I fasted and prayed for 3 days. because we both were Christians, you know. So I fasted for 3 days to hear from the Lord, maybe whether I should do it or not. I felt I got the A-OK. And after 3 days, I was like, okay, it's on. So I went to Georgia, got permission from her parents, married her, took her to Florida, introduced her to my parents. They never met her. So by the way, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't get married and don't tell your parents.
Don't tell your parents
that you got married.
Yeah, that I got married. It's like, okay, you married? Oh, really? So that's not a good look to do that. And the journey was on after that. So we came back to Virginia. Spent I think one more day a week at that particular ministry. Went to found another church to reestablish our covenant relationship with each other, and it was on. Now, the things that we didn't get a chance or opportunity to do. One, we didn't get any marital counseling. So number one, before getting married or going to that extra step, you might want to get some marital counseling. Okay, why? Because you don't know what you get yourself into. If you're trying to spend the rest of your natural life with somebody you think you know. Okay. Second thing is this. We've had books. We've read books. I think we have a few books here. Kind of coach ourselves through the process of.
One book we read while Stephen was in Virginia and I was in Georgia. Every night he would call me and we were reading this book. I don't know if you guys can see it. By Miles Monroe. It's called Waiting and Dating. So every night before we went to sleep, Steve called me and we read like 2 and 3. We read like 2 and 3 chapters a night, and said a prayer. And we did that until we actually finished the whole book. Not even knowing that. I didn't know that, that I had I just want to say that I had no idea that he was like fasting and praying and all this marriage stuff. Like I had no idea, never crossed my mind. Like I was pretty much content with us, talking every day. And I love that, I was content with that moment. Never crossed my mind that he was going to come to Georgia, pop up at my mom's house and we were getting married. I'm like, it was a major shock to me. Mm-hmm. But my thing was that I loved him so much, and he had loved me. We had gotten so close, like we didn't even think about all the the process questions, the process, the what are your likes and what are your dislikes. It was like we were just like, man, I trust him, man. I love everything about him, man. I trust her, man. I love her. She got my back. Like we were thinking about that so much that we didn't think about some of the common things that, when you're dating or, getting ready to get married that you probably should be talking about. Before that happened.
And to her point, now, when we got together prior to me asking her for marriage, one of the things that drew me to her was her tenacity to work hard, her grind, if you're actively a member in in ministry, that the ministry has a lot of different, assets to running a church. So I've seen how much her desire is to serve the Lord and to please God and to serve other people. That definitely drew me to her as far as her being a part of my ministry. So I said, well, I can definitely see myself with somebody like that who has a drive like that. Now, to her kid. Now, you know what? I'm going to let her explain what she saw with me
so,
in terms of that.
So pretty much, like I said, about having these conversations when you're dating is very important because you can have unexpected expectations. Mm-hmm. So Stephen had, pretty much what he told me was that when he saw me, his mind, he was thinking about, man, we can do business together. We can do ministry together. I love her drive. His mind was thinking all these things. When I saw him, my mind was thinking, wow, we could have a wonderful family together. Like, man, he's a man of God. He's a leader. He can really lead our house. So he saw me in one light and had expectations. I saw him in another light and had expectations. We had these expectations in our mind, but we never discussed it. We never discussed it with each other. Mm-hmm. So being that we went through that dating process, we never discussed what we thought or whatever expectations we had of each other, and we got married. Yeah, so that can cause a lot of chaos because like, hey, I thought this, I thought you were going to be this, I thought you were going to be that. No, I never told you that. So we had these conversations with ourselves in our head that we never had with each other.
So, and like she said, it's like, you didn't give each other a chance to explore what's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of stuff in my head I didn't discuss with her, and vice versa, until after the marriage. So here we are, day one. I'm telling her, hey, okay, I need you to do X, Y, Z. I need you to do this. I need you to, by the way, the refrigerator gotta be in order and all this stuff. And she's like, okay, excuse me, you want me to do what? So it's like, okay, listen, Sergeant Slaughter, I don't need you to tell me to do every little thing, and I'm not your your do boy or do girl. I'm your wife now. So okay, well, the question is, well, how do you be a husband? What does a husband look like? What does a wife look like? What are your roles and responsibilities? All these different things is all at one time. We were just single yesterday, so now 24 to 48 hours later, we're married, and nobody had a conversation with us about what does it take to have a successful marriage, or okay, what are my roles and responsibilities are? Because everybody's marriage is different. That's another different topic. So you can't say, okay, you know what, your husband's supposed to be like this and the wife is supposed to be like this. Well, no, you guys have to learn how to know each other enough to know.
So you can mend perfectly. Well, you can mend together. Yeah,
know her strengths and weaknesses are, know my strengths and weaknesses are, and you leverage each other's strengths, not your weaknesses. So through trial and error, we had to figure that out. So
our first year, our first year, so we learned a lot through our first and second year. So like he said, so he saw me from afar before we got married, like, oh man, she's driven and she's this and she's that, I seem so structured and, in order, like to him. When I saw him, I thought like, man, he's such a kind guy. He just, such a great leader, love the Lord, always praying, always worshiping. And I was like, wow, man, like we would really make a good couple. Our first year, we moved in together. I remember Stephen coming home. I think I went grocery shopping.
You want to tell that?
Yep. And he went, yep, I am. And he goes into the refrigerator and he's like, you got the grits? I had grits in the cabinet. So he's like, why you got the grits in the cabinet? The grits go in the refrigerator, and the mustard and the ketchup and the mayo, goes like this. And I'm looking at him like, excuse me? So he's like that first year, like it dawned on me. I'm like, man, like this Joker is like very controlled, like a military background, So I had no idea that he was as structured and all this, order and all this kind of stuff. Like I had no idea that because we never had a conversation. So I had no idea. All I saw was the good, fun, loving side of him. But it gets different when you stay together. So not that I was a person that's not of order, but I'm just more laid back. So versus I might come home and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my shoes off and I'm going to sit by the bed. I'll get them later. They're just shoes. Steven may come home like, why the shoes by the bed? Why the shoes out in the closet? Like he just like... I'm like, look, Sergeant Slaughter, like, this is getting to be a bit too much, So over the course of time, I learned that, he was a person of order, budgets, finances, just everything, just like had to be in order. I was more of a laid back person. I'll take care of it tomorrow, no rush, and then it caused us to clash a lot because he was order, I was laid back. So that's when I think we begin then to start having a conversation of the type of person that he was and the type of stuff that he liked, and I was able to explain the type of person that I was and the type of stuff that I like, and then now we're getting to know each other. Yeah. So once you get to know each other, and then now you can meet in the middle, somewhere or another, and find a common ground in that area, because you don't make your spouse to be like you.
That's right.
Negative. Number one, they're their own person. Right. You are your own person. So you can't say, well, because I'm an ordered person or because I'm a laid back person, like you have to do it my way or you have to be like me or vice versa. No, you learn each other and you find a common ground where you both can meet in the middle on some things.
Now, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Now, just like when we were single, nobody taught us how to be single either. And what I mean by that is, let's say you are dating somebody and you have interest in them. That's just an interest. You should still have fun. Go out, have fun. Go out and travel. Go out and go to a movie, go to dinner, go to a dance. Have fun. Now, if you feel a need, if y'all want to take it to another level, like she said, make it known to each other your expectations. Make it known to each other your expectations, so you understand. Okay, listen, I want to go a step further in this relationship we have going on, or this dating we have going on. How do you feel about that? And see where you're at. Now, I'm not saying that'll be the answer for everybody, because some people are great liars. You know, they'll tell you, yeah, you know, but and still be dating 2-3 other different people. So I'm talking about folks who walk with a little bit of integrity to say, yeah, I'm interested in going a step further, and you guys go a step further and see where that goes. But make your expectations known. 1, 2, give each other room to grow. Just because you like, you know, macaroni and cheese and collard greens today, you may like something else tomorrow. People tend to change over time. So if you still are interested in each other as you change, you may have something very, very powerful later on. So.
Yes. Just to piggyback right off of that, another thing, like you may get with someone who their family may be used to a 9 to 5. Then you might get with somebody who they come from a background of entrepreneurs. So now you guys have 2 different mindsets. So now you're getting married to an entrepreneur, and he's like, you know, trying to, you know, build a business. He's trying to do this. And your family, you used to, you know, a job, 9 to 5, a job, 9 to 5. You can't understand his, you know, his movements or his language, because you're not used to like this entrepreneurship. You're used to, okay, we survive off jobs, you know, like we ain't going out there, you know, to build our own. Or you're going to have some problems, because he's going to be out there trying to build so you guys can have a better life, so you won't have to work. But you're going to be focused on, no, I want to go get a job. I want to go work, you know, as they say, for the man, or whatever the case may be.
You want job security.
Yeah, job security. You put your security in a job.
Yeah.
To each his household. Yeah, to each his household's own. But that's why these conversations are so important in the beginning. I say that because that was me. I was, you know, I didn't hear about, you know, entrepreneurship and building a business in my family growing up. Like everybody worked, like they worked hard for years, you know. That's how it was. But me getting with Steven, his mindset was more so of leaving a legacy, building something for my family where, you know, where they don't have to work, or, you know, establishing something for my kids so they don't have to, you know, worry about stuff when they get older. I don't want my kids to take care of me when, you know, when I get older. I want them to be enjoying their life. Like his mind was so like far going, and during that time, I didn't understand that language. So we clashed a lot while Steven's trying to, you know, I want to do this business. I want to do that business. And I'm like, nope. You know, because we will have another couple that will come on and talk about entrepreneurship, marriage, and business and all that. But it's a lot that comes with that. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of time. It's a lot that comes with that. And if you're not a person that familiar with entrepreneurship, or you're not, you know, you didn't grow up around that, it's going to cause a lot of problems if you don't understand. And that was me. It caused a lot of issues with me because I didn't understand that language. I didn't understand this whole entrepreneurship thing until years later in our marriage. So I don't want to veer off too much on that. But another thing as far as what you gonna say? Mm-hmm. As far as so that's the married aspect of it. As far as singles, as Steven would say, when you're just dating, you're still single. You know, I know there's a lot of couples that date and they try to commit themselves. You know, you're dating. You know, you're not committed to anyone. You know, they're not your spouse. You're not married. When you're dating, you're doing just that. You're dating. You're
shopping around. All right. I mean, I hate to say it like that. But okay, when you're dating, you're shopping. All right. You're trying to see whether or not you like the pair of shoes. If it fits well, if it feels comfortable, then you buy it. Right. So when you're dating, you really are seeing if this is the person you really want to be with. And it takes a little time to get to know them better. You won't know somebody, to me, I'm just saying my opinion, in 6 months. Okay? I know my wife, or at least of her, for 7 years. We spent time together for a year. And after we got married, I still didn't know her. Okay? And she still didn't know who, you know, all of me. And we still get to know each other after 9 years of marriage. So getting to know a person through and through takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it's going to take some years, not a few 4 or 5 months. A lot of times when people come together, they meet their representative. What I mean by that is a person that you want to see, that you want to disclose to that person to impress them. You got you want to take a shower, you know, your best dress on, got your makeup on, for men, you got a fresh haircut, So you want to look your 100% best. That does not mean that's how you are 24/7. You could be you could be sloppy, food all over the place, don't clean up after yourself, bad hygiene. But for that one day you met somebody, you put on your best dress, but that's not really how you are. You may be, you may have some other issues. So we want to get past the representative into the reality of who that person really is, at least for right now. You see what I'm saying? So coming together, and the reason why you come together, on the topic is talking about, okay, what is the reason why you have so much interest in this person, right? And what is the reason why that particular reason why you like them is keeping you together? If that makes sense. Okay? So we might.
So as far as well, before even getting together with someone, this is something I feel like is very, very, very important. As a single person, I mean, I feel like there's so many single people that I come in contact with. They just feel like, they're in a rush. I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. It's the sweet life. Like it's not a game. It's really not a game. So I feel like if you're not totally together yourself, you might not be ready for somebody else. When I say that, I mean because sometimes even with me, Stephen and I, anybody that asks us this question, if you could change anything about your marriage, we always say the same thing. What is it?
We would still got married, but not at the time.
Timing. We definitely always say that the timing was off. During the time when Steve got together, as we say, he was going through some personal things. I was going through some personal things. Still had some struggles with myself. And just because we felt like we had a commonality and we looked out for each other so much and we just had each other back so much, we got married, And another thing, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, he said he fasted and he prayed. Yes, he did. Just because God tell you that this is your spouse does not mean right now. Doesn't mean that, today. Today. So he's telling you. I heard a pastor said on a YouTube channel that some man had got prophesied to that a particular lady in the congregation was his wife, and he went to her prematurely, and he's like, hello ma'am, prepare yourself for me. The Holy Spirit said that you my wife, and she's like, I'm getting ready to get married next week. Like, what are you talking about? So just because God said that somebody is, he may show. Sometimes God may show you your spouse beforehand, doesn't mean that it's your time to get married to them now. So we had a whole lot of kinks and other stuff that we had to deal with before getting married. So we kind of feel like we got married prematurely, so I had a lot of things going on. That's why I say it's so important that as a single person that you really deal with yourself, a lot of stuff that you're going through and issues and stuff before you come alongside with somebody else, because the only thing you doing is making it a complicated situation. I'd be first to say I had a lot of baggage. When Steve and I we very first started talking, the very first thing I told him once we saw that we were getting serious is, I said, if you're not honest with me, if you're not serious with me, I said, don't play with me. I was like, I've been hurt, I've been lied to, and I just went on to tell him all the things that I had been through, like, please don't waste my time. If you're not serious with talking to me, like, please don't waste my time, because I had been through so much at that point in my life that I'm like, look, I can't afford another. Like, I can't do it. So during that time, me and Steve got together. I was identity crisis. I was a broken person. Hurt, heartbroken. I just had so much stuff going on in my life that I just could not understand at that time. So for me to bring all that stuff that I had going on with me into a marriage, our first year and a half of marriage was literally me fighting myself and him before we can actually enjoy our marriage, because I had so much stuff that I hadn't dealt with before we got married that came out.
And here's the thing, it's not like she didn't know she had issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like we know that, okay, before you get married, you want to deal with some issues. These are issues that you're unaware of. Like, there are issues you have, and there are issues that you don't know that you're aware of until you get married. Those are the issues or the skeletons in your closet that has yet to be dealt with. And she ain't the only one. I have plenty of those as well that I was aware and not aware of. So it's good that both the male and the female take some time to learn yourself before you get to thinking about spending the rest of your natural life with somebody else. Okay, because like I said before, I say it all the time. I said, listen, when you're up to the age of 19, you still kind of like adolescence. When you hit the age of 20, you need some time to yourself. You know, I would say all of your 20s, go to college, figure out what career you want to pursue or entrepreneurship you want to pursue, and figure out what it is you're good at or skilled at or talented in. You know, kind of do some research on yourself. We do a lot of research on everybody else but ourselves. And then from there, if somebody happens to cross paths with you who may have the same similar interests or just somebody you may be interested in, y'all can have fun while you're developing yourself. All right, you don't want to spend time developing you and helping somebody else develop themselves when you're not where you need to be for yourself. That's called a mess. Okay, so you want the time to develop yourself, the time to get to know yourself, get to know if you believe in God, your God-given assignment. What is it on your heart you want to pursue or do, and have that a clear how you say it, a clear picture of where you want to go in your life. Because then if you don't know where you want to go, especially for men, if you don't have a sense of direction or a sense of where you're going, you're going to bring somebody into your life having no compass and taking them nowhere. So there's nothing worse than having a woman marry a man who don't know where he's going. Okay? So you want a sense of direction. So you can lead her and guide her, and the person you marry can complement where you're going versus you just, she's pretty, she's beautiful, she has a job, and that's it. Okay, it's deeper than that. Does she complement your purpose? Do you complement her purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Those are questions you should be asking before you end up in a world of trouble. And is that intentional? Is it because nobody sat you down, or you didn't sit down and think about your life and where you want to go in your life? For both male and female. So to wrap it up, you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, all in a nutshell, before you come along, like single people, before you come along with somebody, make sure that you mature yourself, make sure that you know yourself, make sure a lot of, personal issues that you have in your life, that you deal with them before coming along with somebody, because the only thing you're going to do is make the situation complicated. That's male and female. Have conversations. If you're dating someone and you going on year 1, year 2, and you see that you guys are really starting to get serious, sit down. Don't jump into something because I just feel like I love him so much, I love her so much. Sit down and have conversations. Hey, we've been dating now for 2 years. Where do you see us going in 5 years?
That's right.
If they're thinking what you're thinking, then you might be off to a good start. But if they're saying, hey, I'm thinking about going left, in your mind, you're like, okay, well, I was thinking about going right. So you might want to find out what their expectations are with you, because you'll end up being hurt in the long run, because in your mind you'll be thinking, well, I thought we was going down this road, and to sit down and talk about it and hear that they were thinking about going down another road, then it's like, okay, now you're lost. So it's important to have these conversations with whoever you're dating, before you thinking about, getting committed. So you both can make sure that you're on the same page.
And for married people, now, if you're married and don't remember why you came together, y'all should sit down, have a conversation, and just rewind the tape. Have a conversation about, okay, what was it that you were so interested in with me that brought you to me, and vice versa. So it's very important, because sometimes the life's challenges, the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations, the adversity and setback, will kind of erase the reason why you came together. So you want to bring that back to the forefront and use that as ammunition and as a means to push your marriage forward in terms of remembering why you came together and keeping the marriage alive by keeping that at your forefront.
Yep.
Right. So, anything you want to add to that?
No, I was gonna say yeah, I was yeah, you had me. I was into what you were saying just now.
Yeah, zone it out. Right?
So so like he said, remembering for married people, remembering what brought you together, and have those conversations in rough times or tough times, or to have those conversations, because those things were a lot of times keep you together. So if Stephen and I, what brought us together was trust. So that goes in every factor when it comes to finances, when it comes to, when it comes to finances, when it comes to, issues in marriage, when it comes to, other people, whether it be male, female, when it comes in every aspect of your marriage, if I know his heart, no matter what I see, I know his heart. So a lot of things, like what's the little sticker, the little mirrors in the car say objects. Then they appear. Yeah. So sometimes some things will look like something that is not really that it's not really. So I might see Steve, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm telling myself, like, we first got together, like, I was all jacked up, like, with identity crisis and issues, stuff from my childhood, and just I had been through a lot. So when we first got together, Steve, he's a barber. So he would be cutting, pliant hair, and, it would be the opposite sex. And I would just like be having a fit like all the time. And he's like, babe, like, this is my profession. But it wasn't so much of him, it was because of me and my personal issues that I had with myself. So once we, start a couple of years into our marriage, I got to know his heart. So no matter what I saw or whatever things, even little, things that disagreements in the house, stuff that I didn't understand, business ventures or whatever it may be, I know his heart. So once you know a person's heart, you'll know, okay, I know that he had my best interest at heart. I know that he had our family's best interest at heart, because I now know him. Before, I didn't know him. I thought I knew him, but as you begin to, spend more time with that person and be around them more, you actually get to know them. So when things happen or look kind of weird, you will know what's the truth and what's not the truth, because you know them.
And on our second close, check this out. All right, for some of you guys who got married, whatever the reason why you came together was because your girl was pregnant or something like that. That's not a negative thing, because a lot of times people are like, we know what, we came together because she got pregnant, and we got married because she was pregnant, or something, or what was it? Another reason why we got married is because we were drunk. Whether a positive or negative, you can turn it into something positive. All right, you don't just. Some people just marry. You know what? I don't know what to do. I'm just going and marry this person. Okay, well, if you married them, there's something positive about that person on the reason why you married them. Even if it was because you had a child. A child is not a negative thing. It's a beautiful thing to have children. Children are not something that came from the devil. Okay, they all come from God. So, if that was the reason why you got married, then grow from there. You have a beautiful son or daughter. You have the best of both worlds. So let's focus on the best of both worlds and do that to each other, and just continue on growing from there. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this up. This topic is a broad topic, but there's so many ways we can take this conversation. So this is just the start of a beautiful relationship and friendship with you all. So for those of you who want to subscribe to our channel, just click on the bell, click on the link, subscribe. If not, share it.
We have a Facebook page, Bell Talk. We have an Instagram, Bell Talk 2021, and we also have our YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe, because we're gonna have a lot of good topics, to talk to you guys about. Because I know there are so many people that have a lot of people have so many questions that they need answered, and I know a lot of people are tired of getting sugar-coated answers. I'm just gonna say this real quick, like. I hear a lot of people, like men and women, asking different questions about their marriage, like things that they don't know. And a lot of times people will say, well, hey, pray, ask God, God will lead you here and God will lead you there. I'm not knocking prayer. Yes, pray. Definitely ask God for direction in every situation. But sometimes people need to hear, the truth. Sometimes people need some transparency. Sometimes somebody want to hear, my husband stepped out on me. My husband didn't step out on me though. But sometimes somebody need to hear, my husband stepped out on me. This happened, that happened. We worked it out. If they choose to stay together, we worked it out, and we going 10, 20 years strong. Somebody need to say, hey, my wife, dealt with some, she was all jacked up, when we got together. She had attitude. She had, money spending problems. We almost, lost our house because, she didn't know how to save money. But hey, here we are today, 30, 40 years in, we worked it out. Sometimes people want to hear the straight up truth, because I feel like that's the only thing that's really gonna help them. You know, prayer, yes, definitely pray. Definitely pray, ask God for direction. But at the same time, if you have a testimony, don't sit dormant on it when somebody else could be using it. Help somebody else out.
Yeah. So like she said, after you're done praying, you have to take action. That's what she's saying. Take action. Take action. Prayer and take action. All right. So look, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Till next time, God bless and continue on our channel with Bill Talk.
You guys have a blessed night.